Start the Board of Education meeting, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have some help? Have Gabe, students from Abe Hubert? All right, wonderful. If you want to come over here and help us by facing the flag and showing us how we do this. Okay, and I'll wait for you to start. Go ahead and start.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for your help. Now don't go away. First of all, I want to thank you guys. If you want to come over here and start on this side of the table, so I can thank you for leading us. And then we're going to get a picture. So come on down this way. Once you've shaken her hand. Thank you for helping me. Go on down there.
Very good job.
Thank you for helping. Thank you for helping. Okay, we're going to right here. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much.
Do they do those even at the
Okay. Thank you, Dave Hubert, students, Principal Gardner. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the following amendments. 1, add as item number C-1, recognition of Jenica Pinchon and Kathia Ian, students from Charleston Intermediate Center, winners of a poster contest. And 2, add item number C-2, recognition of Lynn Boycano, Read 180 teacher at Bernadine Sitz Intermediate Center for being named a Kansas Geography Educator of the Year.
Wonderful. Motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor indicate raising your hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay. Agenda item C. Delegation Q&A public comment. Do we have any public comment? Okay. I guess we're ready for recognition then. Who do we have for?
Jenna Smith this year from Charles Strauss. That's the first one on there.
I believe so.
Earlier this year, our art teacher asked the students in her class to draw posters for the Put on the Brakes contest. We enter it every year. It's with KDOT, and this year, Jenica Pinchon won the Region 6 award, and she got a bicycle last Tuesday at a ceremony. And Kathia Guillen won a runner-up position, and she also got a bicycle presented at an assembly last week. They're kind of cool, and they got helmets, and I know one has been out riding. I haven't had a chance to talk to Kathia if she's been out riding it yet. Yeah. So they've been out riding their bicycles faithfully this weekend. But it was kind of cool. And this is the poster and the pictures that they drew. They brought.
Great. Now this is, who provided the bicycles?
KDOT.
KDOT. Okay.
They provided bicycles and the helmets that were presented to them, and it was a surprise to the girls, I believe. Their parents kept it secret.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. Any questions from the board? Well, again, congratulations. If you want to come by and shake our hand. I love the colors too.
Their parents are here.
Yeah, should we take a picture with them?
Sure. Parents.
Another picture.
Take a picture with us, too.
And, we're gonna make you use your camera.
Jessica, I think they want you on.
They want you up.
Jessica. Yes. TJ.
Get in, can you get us? Or let's get in a little bit. Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Wonderful. Next one.
Well, I would just like all of you to know that tonight you are in the presence of geography royalty. Miss Lynn Boitano was selected by the Kansas Geography Alliance as the Kansas Geography Educator of the Year. So. And she said royalty only because this illustrates the creativity and the cleverness and just the endearing nature of our students. They made this for me. Stuco did, and they had a little tiara. I truly felt, this is very special. She's an advocate, I think, while I hate to say this, but geography is not beside her job title per se at Bernadine sits right now, but I think that speaks to the level of what she is doing for geography and the study of that for Kansas students, not just students in Garden City, but students all across the state. She's a real advocate, and we appreciate that.
I have a question. The Kansas Geographic Alliance
Right.
Provided this award.
Right.
Now, who is that?
It's an organization that is dedicated to promoting geoliteracy, K through 12, by providing resources, opportunities, professional development for teachers. The big Kansas map, we're going to be bringing it out to Garden City, hopefully in November, and just resources and things that promote geoliteracy for our kids.
Wonderful. Board, any other questions?
I just wanted to say I'm really impressed because I think that geography it's been sort of an underrated subject area, but all the time we see people from so many different places in our community, and it's really nice to make sure that our young people and our students have a feeling for how far away some of them have traveled from.
And they're so curious about people and places and landscape, and it really satisfies that curiosity, geography does, I think.
Well, I know I minored in that in college just because of that curiosity and that interest. And and I applaud you for your enthusiasm and your dedication, because you've been working in this area for a number of years. And so thank you for what you give to our kids in exciting them about geography. And obviously they're excited because of that tiara, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Now we have a building presentation, I believe, from the high school. Yep.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come talk to you this evening about some of the good things that are happening at Garden City High School. As the head principal at Garden City High School, I know that our kids can think, achieve, and serve with the best there is, anywhere. And our presentation tonight is actually 4 small presentations, kind of showing you just a sample of what's going on at Garden City High School, and as I said, some of the really good things that we've got going on. We can't encapsulate everything we do up there in one building presentation, but this will give you a little taste of our achievements, our innovation, our academics, and our service, which is, like I said, second to none. So we'll start tonight with our athletics director, Associate Principal Drew Tone, and we'll move from there.
So Mr. Norby, I asked him, I said, how much time do we get? And he said, oh, you have about 25 minutes. And I said, good, I'll take all of it. So I'm not sure who's giving the rest of it. I'm going to talk just a little bit about Garden City Athletics. First off, we have some girls here from Stuco. Absolute rock stars. They're awesome. They kill it every day. So what I'm going to talk about is basically what we're doing athletically and activity-wise at Garden City High School. We're off to another great year doing more and more great things. We're kind of known around the western part of Kansas and Kansas as a whole as being progressive and out there and trying new things. And this year is no different than any other year. Last Friday night was pink night at the football game. You'll see all the pink little sunset in the background. It's a pretty picture. We'll start off by talking about the classroom. A lot of people, when they think of athletics, they think of dumb jocks, and that couldn't be any further from the truth. Once again this year, our athletes are leading the way in the classroom. In 2016, our average GPA for athletes, and this also includes band members, debate members, was a 3.17. And that's really something that we focused on school-wide, was increasing our GPA, and we've been able to do that. This year, the first quarter, we increased it to 3.24, which is excellent. A large percentage of our high school population that's involved in athletics are 4.0 students. We have 86 of them. That's 15% of all student athletes are 4.0 students. So we're very, very conscious of what's going on in our classroom. Our coaches and activity leaders do a good job of making sure that we're diligent in the classroom. We actually have 72% of all student athletes, 72% of them have at least a B average with a 3.0. Of the 10 CASA activities that are taking place in the fall, 8 of the 10 have increased their GPAs from 2016. We'll kind of get started. We'll start with the band, and your computer doesn't have my fonts, so the fonts look funny, I'm sorry. The band, we've seen a massive growth in marching since we've come into the new high school. When we first moved into the new high school, our marching band was only 116 students. Lyle and Miss Johnson, Mr. Selby and Miss Johnson have grown that to over 200. We've competed, and we competed very well in Manhattan at the Central States Marching Festival. This coming weekend, we're going to KBA in Topeka, where we expect to bring home another one. Cheer and dance, just like everything else, cheer and dance has gotten better this year from last year. Cheer has grown and they've improved. We have a new head coach that's doing an excellent job. Coach Marshall's done great things. She had a Young Buffs cheer clinic where over 200 little Buff cheerleaders came in and performed at our first football game. Cheerleading is no longer, we used to not call them athletes, they're now athletes because for the first time we've been selected to go and cheer at the first ever Kansas cheer competition. And that will happen here in November. The size of the cheerleading team is close to 60 people, so it continues to be a very large and important group in our department. Dance has continued to improve. This year they joined up with the cheerleaders and had 2 excellent performances with Castleview and Dodge City where we got both groups together, and it was a great performance for both of them. Cross country keeps doing what cross country does. Coach L, Coach Algram, and Coach Hackett, they continue to do a great job recruiting student athletes and bringing them out there and doing a great job not only in the classroom but also on the track. We continue to place in the top 2 and 3 in almost every single meet that we go to. The only one that we didn't is Rib Rock, and that's nationally one of the top national meets in the nation. We hosted WAC this year out of Buffalo Dunes. Our girls brought home a WAC championship. Our boys got second. Our boys turned around and won regionals. And so we continue, and we're looking again this weekend when we go to state in Lawrence to bring home trophies and bring home medals from Acacia State Championships. Football, Coach Hill continues to do a great job maintaining football numbers. One thing that I'm sure you guys read in the newspapers, football numbers nationwide have been on the decline. That's not happening here in Garden City. Coach Hill and his staff and the middle school staffs do a good job of maintaining good numbers. Other WAC schools are struggling to even field freshman teams. We have no problem, and we would actually like to add more teams and more games to our schedule. So they're doing a great job with that, a great job with the community. They're kind of leading the way with youth sports and taking over youth football and being highly involved with our kids in the lower grades in the elementaries and 5th and 6th grade centers. Another great season for our football team, 6-2 for the 3rd year in a row. Coach Hill and the Buffaloes are WAC champions. And in the last 3 seasons, we're 22-5, and that's 2nd in the state, only behind Derby in 6A as far as winning percentages. Girls golf and girls tennis, just like most of the other sports that we have, also dominating sports. Girls golf, another very, very successful year. If it weren't for one girl moving in to Hayes High that was a former state champion that they recruited there, we would have been WAC champions. Yeah, she was going to a different school, and it's a long story. Regional champions, we were regional champions this year. We ended up 9th in the state. Tennis continues to do, Rod does a great job with tennis. We won tennis again this year in the WAC, and you're starting to see a theme that we always win in the WAC. That's kind of what we do. We won almost every single meet that we went to, and we were able to send 4 girls to the state championships in Topeka. 3 girls, excuse me. Soccer plays tomorrow night. If you guys are interested in watching them on the pitch, they play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. They play Wichita Northwest. And Coach Padilla and his staff, I'm especially proud of what they're doing in the classroom. They take a different group of kids that they don't always have classroom success, and they're making them successful in the classroom with the help of our teachers at Garden City High School. So I'm continuing to be amazed at what he does with his GPAs in soccer. We finished 2nd in the WAC this year behind Dodge City. That's a tough pill to swallow, but we'll get by. We'll get through it. Tomorrow, like I said, they play in the round of 18. Volleyball, one of our most successful programs. We have a new head coach this year, Coach Bailey. We were able to get her from Clearwater, a very successful coach at Clearwater, and she continued to do great things for the Garden City volleyball team. They went 27-8 this year. They're getting ready to go to the state championships in Topeka, where we're hoping, we haven't got out of pool play in a long time, since the early 90s. So we're hoping to get out of pool play on Friday and be able to play on Saturday this year. We have a tough draw, but we can do it. She's done a great job of building our program from top down. Not only is the varsity good, but the JV is good and the freshmen are good. And so she's done a good job of building everything top to bottom. We were WAC champs again, sub-state champions again, and it's the 3rd straight year we've been to a state tournament in volleyball. So what's going on new with the bus? What are we doing this year that maybe we haven't done in the past? We have the HERD app now. The HERD app, we have over 1,000 users on the HERD app with over 17,000 engagements. So that means of the 1,000 users, we've had over 17,000 people check into our events, which is a massive, massive number. Military and teacher night, we did something different this year. We added a teacher appreciation night to our military night where we bring in the helicopter and do all that fun stuff. We had a homecoming parade for the first time in nobody really knows how long, the early 90s we think. And it was a parade that when the girls started designing it and building it, we showed up on Sunday thinking there may be a couple people at the parade, and there ended up being a couple thousand people at the parade. And it morphed into this amazing, awesome thing. Mr. Kydell brought his kids down there. It was awesome to see and awesome to be a part of. Powder Puff, we brought it back last year, and it continues to be a huge thing for us. Seniors won this year, correct? Seniors won. It's always good when the seniors win because that means nobody gets upset. We brought motorcycles back to the football games. We haven't had motorcycles in 5 or 6 years, and it happened to be an absolutely perfect time with the tragedy that happened. We were able to honor some Garden City folks. And then the return of Southbuster last weekend. If you weren't able to be there, we were able to get West Texas A&M to bring their Buffalo Thunder 12 down to the football game and run it out on the football field in front of our football team, and it was an awesome sight to behold. Roger, you look good, buddy.
Thank you.
Miss Scott's gone, but I titled this for her. This is how we Buffalo. If you don't follow Miss Scott, make sure you follow her on Twitter. She has some great blog posts. So our WAC success continues to be top notch. The American Implement WAC Cup, we've won it 6 consecutive times. We're looking at a 7th consecutive championship, hopefully. We're off to a strong start. So far this year, we have 4 WAC championship teams. The rest of the WAC, the other 4 schools combined, only have 3 WAC championships. And we haven't finished below 2nd in any single thing that we've done. So we continue to dominate the WAC. As you can tell by the numbers, it's not even close right now. And we're hoping at the end of the year to add a 7th WAC Cup. And I know Mr. Carlin, Dr. Carlin, you're probably going to have to deal with some Dodge City people. So far this year, we're 21-3 against Dodge City in anything that we do, which is always a good thing. So on behalf of the Athletics and Activities Department, I really do appreciate you guys. We do a lot of great things, but we couldn't do any of those great things without the board's help, without Dr. Carlin and his team's help, and without Mr. Norby and what he's able to do for us. So thank you. I hope I kept it under time.
Yeah, we got a little time left for the rest of us. The next step in our presentation is going to focus a little bit on the innovation that we've got in the classroom. And one of the projects that I'm really excited about is one that is headed up by Don Merle and his kids, and not just his kids. I guess it's a group project down there with the trades folks. So I'm going to let him talk about the tiny house project, and this is one example of how our kids, with the right leadership, can think, create, and do with the best of them. So I'm let him take over.
Hi, I'm Don Merle. I'm the Welley instructor at Garden City High School and the Skills USA advisor. Garden City High School is an amazing place. I challenge you to go look at the number of clubs, organizations, and activities that there are for those kids. We get a lot of hooks in those kids, and it's really hard for those kids to leave, to drop out, because of the number of hooks that we have in them. And so I'm just here to tell you about one of our hooks. Skills USA is a CTSO, Career Technical Student Organization, and it focuses primarily on welding, drafting, carpentry, the trades. And so, so far this year we have 88 kids in our Skills USA organization, and we've raised money for Hurricane Harvey relief and Kansas wildfire relief. Last year, the previous 3 years, we raised money. All of our money went to Habitat for Humanity homes, any home that you see in Garden City that was built by Habitat for Humanity, if you look at all the exterior metal, that would be the rails, the anything going down the stairs, the fire escapes, all of those were designed and built by Garden City High School students right there in our welding program. This year, we decided to challenge our kids and our school a little bit and build a tiny house. And so this is a joint effort between our welding and our drafting program. Our trades program will come into it later, and we are challenging as many different teachers in the school to come in and do as many cross-curricular activities as they can, whether it be English classes, writing essays about why tiny houses are needed, or just various studies on HVAC and plumbing and those kinds of things. And so we started off here. This is a set of engineered blueprint plans that we started with, and this is where we're at right now. The kids are, we take them through certification first, and so that all of the welds are certified. Once we're done, this will be KDOT inspected, and we know that, and so we're able to go to them with blueprints and certifications, and they look at them and they say, wow. And so it's not just something that was slapped together in the ag shop, and so the kids in drafting are currently going through different phases of each of them designing their own design of what they think it needs to be. We mandated a few things, made a few changes. It's got to have a deck up top. It's going to have a fold-down deck on bottom, or on the back, I'm sorry, and it's going to have a 2-foot pull-out on the side. And so just kind of some ideas on what this is going to look like. Some students designing there. And so once we get through all of their designs, we will go from the ground up, and we're thinking this is probably going to be a year and a half project. Questions?
I have a question. What's the plan for once it's completed?
Good idea, or good question. It'll get sold. There are 3 different sites that sell tiny houses strictly in the United States. Oddly enough, it's pretty simple to get a tiny house delivered anywhere in the United States for the $600 to $700 range. And so typically most people just, whenever they sell their tiny house, they sell it with transportation. And so we'll put this on an auction site, and it will get auctioned off, and then it will go to the highest bidder.
And then the proceeds go?
Probably, I mean, we really didn't see this as a money-making opportunity, but if there are any proceeds, they'll go to the Skills USA group. Whenever we approached our administration, they were very supportive, and KJ's been very helpful with us, and so, yeah, that's probably where we're
Basically paying the expenses.
Sure, and we've been very fortunate. Everybody that I've talked to so far, starting with Tetro Plumbing, they donated all the sheet metal for the bases. I mean, we've had a lot of vendors come in and say, yeah, we'll be a part of this, and so I don't think this is going to cost normally. Normally, a tiny house like this, for you to build it on your own, you're looking at about $20,000. The average price of a tiny house right now in the United States, according to the kids, is about $62,000. It's amazing how expensive they are. Yeah.
When you talk about certifications that the kids get first, what type of certifications are you talking about?
Kids in our welding program are able to earn 9 different certifications. They can earn 3 different AWS certifications, which are national welding certifications. And then they can earn 6 different OSHA certifications, which are, again, national certifications. And so they're constantly going through certification their senior year, constantly.
Is this the type of skill that they can go out and get a job after high school, or do they need further training, or what?
we have some kids who go directly into the workforce. They don't always go into the welding workforce, but they go into related occupations, whether it be working for Tetro Plumbing or, a construction company, something like that. The OSHA certifications really help them with that. But we also encourage kids to go either to, post-secondary institutions and get further technical skills. But we also have kids who end up as engineers at K-State, or and they just are in our program because they're interested in being good at hands-on things.
It's very impressive.
You
I
know,
hope it stays in Kansas somewhere, just so we can kind of look at
a
it.
tiny house. It is very impressive, and you talk about the hooks. It takes leadership, it takes community, and it takes those opportunities for those kids to be involved in something that gets their interest. And so, with the facilities we have, I certainly applaud you for the programs we have in place. That together with the investment the community has made into the facilities, it's exciting to see what you're doing.
Well, I firmly believe, I've been here since 1990, and if a kid can't find a place to fit in at Garden City High School, I don't know where they're going to find a place to fit in. The opportunities are just so broad there.
She doesn't say for the right bid, it could be in your driveway.
It'd be a nice retreat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don. That's a great example, I think, of just what we're doing at Garden City High School and providing the opportunities. Our kids can think, they can problem solve, they can create with anyone. And I'm glad we've got leadership that is open to those different types of ideas and trying something different, trying something new. And speaking of that, the next presenter, while he comes out up here, is Yuri Drabinski and the students that are in Buff Robotics. A perfect example of our students thinking, doing, creating with the best. Yuri and his robotics kids and the students in his engineering class not only compete at a state level, but also at a national level. This last year, Mr. Dubinsky and the students in his engineering class took on the Samsung Design, Solve for Tomorrow contest, were the state winner, $25,000 worth of equipment from Samsung, and a place among the nation's elite thinkers and doers. And they're going to bring you today and explain a little bit about what this year's project for Buff Robotics is all about. I'll turn it over to you.